You hate being a dad is something I heard. And I thought very often dads don't get the chance to talk about how they feel after having a kid, especially if it can be a negative experience sometimes. And I thought I'd make a video about it because I haven't seen any videos about it. And I know a lot of dads feel the same as me. So let's get into it. Thanks for coming back to my channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you like what I'm doing. I'm in a new room for this video because the other room's being wallpapered. So you're going to see some wallpaper. It's exciting. I wanted to talk this week about the experience of being a dad and how sometimes we can have episodes of depression around looking after kids. Because I hear, postnatal depression is very well publicized and it's a terrible thing. But I know as a dad, I can get periods of just feeling out of control and just like powerless in a way over the situation, especially with toddlers. It can be frustrating. And on top of the natural feeling of being kind of like a spare part in bringing up a kid, because I found that, especially right now, the kids have a real love for the mum. So from a dad's point of view, well, I should keep it to myself. From my point of view, I do feel like we have similar responsibilities as the mum, but for me, the frustrating thing is, like, with Alfie, he's all about mum right now. And if I try to do anything with him, he's like, bye-bye daddy. And it's a phase. I know it's a phase, and I don't, it used to be upsetting, and then I talked about it in his social group. He goes to a group where he learns social skills, and there's other parents there, all mums, by the way. So it was just me and a bunch of mums, which was amazing because I get to hear the female perspective, and that was really eye-opening. But I was the only guy, so they were asking me a lot about all the dad stuff, and they told me it's a phase, and all kids go through it. And that was when he first started doing it, and it was like hurtful. I was like, why, does he not like me? Does he not want me to do anything with him anymore? And there was a stage where he didn't want me to put him to bed. He much prefers mum right now. He much prefers mum to do things with and to just hang out with. So that's hard to come to terms with, but I have come to terms with it now because I know it's a phase. But yeah, so on top of that, what I've realized is, for me, parenting is hard, but if you're the favorite parent, you get the balance, the opposite side of the balance. So all of the struggles and the negative sides of being a parent are outweighed by the love and the affection you get from the kid. But when the kid is all about mum, you just have the negative as a dad. You just have the stress. And don't get me wrong, I love being a dad. I absolutely love it. I love it, and it's my favorite thing. And but I do get stressed. I do get stressed, and I do get very triggered, and especially over the weekend for some reason. I feel like I can't do anything for them because they want their mum, and I feel sort of inadequate as a dad, and it's tough. It's tough, and that leads me to just feeling just sort of down about the whole thing. But I love being a dad, and like today, I took him to speech therapy, and we had a great time. And it's not all about mum, and now I love the fact that it's definitely turning a corner. We definitely have our own things now. He loves to go for drives. I take him to therapy. We have our little games that we play. So it's coming back around, and I do feel like I'm going to start having the other side of the seesaw. So you put up with all the stresses, but you get the love and you get the affection. And I feel like Laura has had the both sides of the seesaw, but I've just had for the past couple of weeks or even months, I've just had the downside of the seesaw because I didn't get the cuddles, I didn't get the the affection. And I wonder if other dads go through that. I mean, I looked for videos about this subject and I couldn't find any. So I'd be interested to know from other dads in the comment section. Do you have that thing where your kid prefers mum? And how do you feel about it? How do you cope with it? I got good news. It's definitely a phase and it does go away. But to begin with, it's kind of jarring. So yeah, and Poppy's, she just is so chill. She loves everything and she's so happy all the time. So she doesn't have a favorite. But she's very independent, you know. She likes to play on her own. She likes to do her own thing. So yeah, I wasn't feeling much affection from the kids for the last couple of weeks, and that was tough, and that was sort of putting me into a bit of a spiral, and I was getting, you know, down about it. But if there are other dads going through this, know that it does get better. You know, I can tell you that because that's what's happening now. And yeah, it's incredible. Being a dad is such a whirlwind, isn't it, of emotions. It's just so intense. It's just being a mum the same. But I feel like there's a lot of videos about the mum's journey and the mum's perspective, but not so much about the dad's. And yeah, do you feel sometimes like a spare part in the family dynamic if you're a dad? You know, especially if they don't, I mean, with Alfie at the moment, he just wants to do everything with mum. So, and then you feel like you're not being a good husband because you can't do the things because you try and do them and he's like, bye-bye daddy. And you feel like you're sort of shirking on your responsibility, but it's not that you don't want to do it, it's that he doesn't want you to do it. Speaking for myself, that's the situation I'm in now. So you feel like a bad dad and a bad husband in that respect, because yeah, it's a whirlwind. And then you get those incredible moments like today. We had such a great time. He was laughing and smiling and lots of eye contact, and it was an amazing afternoon. So I hold on to those moments, you know, I hold on to those moments, and I do know it's a passing thing, and it's up and down, isn't it? Of parenting, God, it's so up and down. But I'm loving it, generally. I do love it. Some days are hard, and dads go through it too. So it's good to talk about it, I feel like, because I know I struggled to find videos about this online, and I know if I'm struggling, maybe there's other dads struggling, and maybe they'll see this video, and you know, we drop a comment if how you feel sometimes when this parenting gets tough. But how do you cope? Because there's no rule book, is there? There's no rule book for kids. So you don't know if you're doing the right thing. I feel like we are. I feel like they're very loved, but you never know. And sometimes someone will say, oh, we do this with our kids, and you know, we don't do that thing. And I'll be like, oh no, am I, oh sorry, low battery just came up. I'm like, oh, you know, are we bad parents for not doing this or that? But then I know, no, because they're so loved. They're showered with love. Like, we love them so much, and we have so much fun. You know, we don't do the structured things so much. Like the trips out, we don't really do that. I mean, we went to the beach, and I feel like Alfie's not really, he loves like playing at home. So we're just going with that at the moment. And Poppy just loves everything. So we took him to a party a couple of weeks ago, and he loved it. He loved going in the ball pit and that, but he could have taken or leave it. I feel like he has more fun at home sometimes. But yeah, we need to do more things outside. And it's tough with a kid on the spectrum. I took him to the post office with me this week just to see if he would like it, and he did not like it. Did not like the post office. Had a little bit of a meltdown. And then I was like, oh no. He sort of threw himself on the ground because he wanted to leave. He didn't like it in there, and I get it. But there's a queue of people, and you can't say, you know, oh, he's autistic. That's, you know, you can't do that. And you just think, no, do these people think he's a bad boy? And, you know, are they judging me as a dad? And I'm trying to pick him up, and then his trousers come down, and he's potty training, so there's no diaper at the moment. And then I'm like, oh no, I look like the world's worst dad right now. So that was crazy. But then the minute we left, he was smiling, happy. He was like, cool, we left that place. I hated that, Dad. Let's go in the car. So yeah, it's funny. He calls, we got 2 cars, and he calls one small car, and one big car, because the big car's obviously bigger. It's the kid car. So he's like, big car, if he doesn't want to go somewhere, if he doesn't want to be somewhere. So he was just shouting out, big car. Trousers coming down, flailing on the floor. I was like, oh no. It's like, am I going to be arrested for being the world's worst dad? But it was fine in the end. He's so funny though. He's such a funny little boy. I love him so much. He's got a great sense of humour. Yeah, so just wanted to make this little video about, it is hard for dads too, and I couldn't find any videos about it online, so I thought I'll make one. Once again, thank you for coming back and listening to my videos. I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Oh, thank you for the amazing response to my brown noise track. Amazing. I love that you guys are loving it. I'm going to do another one of those soon. And hopefully next week I'll be in the room with the new wallpaper. You can see it and tell me what you think. Love you guys. Speak next week.